Well, good afternoon. It is Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker, and I have got about 48 hours worth of growth on my face. It is Sunday, the 28th of August, 2022 at approximately 4:55 p.m. Central Time. I'm at the Lowe's Truck Stop in Alma, Texas. About 3.5 hours from the yard. I only had 2 hours left on the drive clock when I got stopped over here at about 3:30 in the afternoon. So it's been about an hour and a half. I've had a nice hot shower, and so we're just about ready to go. Let's introduce the equipment for this afternoon, and we're using the fourth Filarmonica that I've got. It's a number 13. It's an Inox. And of the four, this is the one that's probably in the best, cleanest, most mint-like condition. It's not really mint, we'll just say excellent condition. The previous Novo Dur was a very good one as well. And the others are good too. It's just the Sub-Zero and the first Novo Dur that I used, it had no tiny issues. It didn't bother me any, and so we got good edges on them, and they shave great, and so I can't complain. And so for the brush, this afternoon we're going to use the Plisson number 20, 30 millimeter High Mountain White Badger set in genuine horn. Very nice brush. I love it as much. I love it very much, I should say. And for the soap, we're going to continue on with the Martin de Candre Agrumes, and this will be the last shave with the Martin de Candre soaps that I've had. The last several trips I've gone on, I've taken each of the 5 out on the road with me, so they've had a very thorough workout, and I love them. Great. I've got 2 of each of the original, the Fougere, the Vetiver, the Rose, and Agrumes. And so, and the way this stuff wears out of the jar, I've probably got enough to last me for the next 10 to 15 years. I exaggerate, I think, I don't know. But it doesn't wear very much, and I got 10 jars, and so if I use one, if it takes a year to go through a jar, that's 10 years, right? Not to mention all of the other good soaps that I have, and the 5 new ones that I just ordered from Zingari Man. I forgot to put the hot towel on. That's just marvelous. And so let's get right at it. I'm going to load the brush rather heavy. Why, you might ask? Because I want to. Just that simple. Got a couple of things to talk about. You know, I really don't, I've said this several times, and I guess people don't watch me that do this. They're hit and run snipers with their 308s or whatever the military caliber round is. But they love to take their sniper shots from the sidelines, people you never heard of. They don't subscribe to the channel, etc., etc. So I've got this much on the brush, I've got this much in my hand, and let's get it over to the face. And what I'm putting on my face now from the jar is probably enough to work up the lather that I would want. But hey, this is cool stuff. You know, we do this for our enjoyment. And the notion of going to straight razor shaving or to wet shaving to try and save money is a nice, attractive lure. It's what makes you bite. But anybody that's been in wet shaving for very long will understand. Geez, I got it. That's all it is a lure. It's kind of like the stones. I know I'm not going to hit this too hard, and I'm not trying to be overly critical with this, just an observation, but it's kind of like honing. People want to go cheap, and so they go with these lapping papers and such like to hone razors. I've never done it before, I don't know anything about it, but would I rather hone my razor on lapping paper or on a nice Arkansas or conical or Shapton glass stones? I think the answer is obvious. But you start where you can, and that's okay. That's okay. But I had another drive-by sniper overnight. Saw it this morning, and I'm not going to address him directly. I'm not going to quote him, but I am going to address the substance, not the content, but the subject and the substance of what he talked about. He was commenting on number 131, my video number 131, and said that that was not my best shave, and there were circumstances for that, and I have already addressed those, and I'm not going to go back to that unpleasantness. But nonetheless, there were circumstances, and as a consequence of my angst, I nicked myself a couple of times, and blood was had. Nicked myself up here on the lip and a place over here on the side, and I think those are the only places I hit myself. I don't know. I don't remember right now, and I don't really care to remember in detail. And so what I will say is the concern was about driving off new guys who might be interested in straight razor shaving, and they watch that video and they, oh, it's that dangerous, I don't want to do it. Which is ridiculous on its face. I shave for myself, I record for myself, I don't sell anything, I'm not in this for any particular kind of notoriety, than I just love to do it. Now, I'm a truck driver on the road who loves straight razors, and I look forward to my shave generally every other day while I'm on the road, and I get into the truck stop, and it's easier for me to record, and I don't have she who must be obeyed to contend with. Can I record today, honey? No. Okay. But let me just say this to people who might be interested in taking up straight razor shaving. You will have a blast taking it up, learning all of the different aspects of it, the honing, the shaving, the stropping, the brushes, the soaps, all that goes with it. You will just love it. You will. I do. I just had a birthday. I'm 63 years old. I've been doing it for just over 7 years, and I am just as excited today to get stopped to do a straight razor shave as I was the very first time that I took up a straight razor in my hand to shave with one. And you know what? That very first time I hit my lip and it bled for 2 hours. And so there was blood in video 131 when I was in Salt Lake City this week. And so let me just clue you in on a little something. There will be blood. I've cut my hands 3 or 4 times. Here not long ago, one of the, a shaver that I admire much, Handle Barber Dave, did something here not long ago, and he cut his hand, finger, hand. He had to stop the video and tend to the wound, but he came back and finished up the shave. I did buzz my head before the shower. Wonderful. It's performing wonderfully. Very happy. And of course my Filarmonicas are honed up and finished on the Shapton glass series out to 30,000. Very nice, very nice. And so, scaring new guys off thinking that they're dangerous. This is a razor, it's not a toy. You can cut yourself. And you might as well see what you're up against as you start to get into it or contemplate getting into it. And those nicks will bleed depending upon where your blood zones are on your face. When I say blood zones, I have heavy bleeding. You know, if you just nick yourself, you know, you just put some alum on it and you're done. Other places, oh my goodness, that one I had over here bled more than I anticipated. Nick yourself on the head and see how much, just a little nick. You know, I shave my head with a straight razor, as if you watch my videos for very long, you've seen. And a little head nick will bleed volumes. Volumes, it's crazy how much a head nick. Of course, you know, all the blood goes to the head because the brain needs the blood, and that's where a large portion of your blood supply is. And so you nick that up there and oops. More than once I've had to walk out of the truck stop after I was done shaving with a piece of toilet paper stuck to my head. That was amusing. And so, like I often say, if you want to leave a comment, you're welcome to do so, but be respectful, courteous, polite. There's no reason to be otherwise. And when I pointed out that, well, about respectful comments, he said, had a phone call come in there and just shut off the camera, so it's only been a second or two. And so when I pointed out about respectful comments, he said, well, I was taught to tell the truth. You know, it's amazing what people will say and do when they think they're telling the truth. They think they can get away with all kinds of rudeness and I won't say insincerity, but now, I'll just say you this too, so we're plain and clear. If you're watching one of my videos and you feel inclined to comment and tell me how to shave, don't, unless you're one of the people on my approved list that I know, that I respect, whose views, you know, that I've seen their videos. If if you've got a comment that you'd like to make a suggestion on something to think about, something to improve upon, then by all means, make your comment. But if you're a hit and run sniper, don't want to hear it. Really don't. Just say, nice shave, appreciate you, thanks. That's all you gotta say. And if you don't, then don't. Which brings up some home training issues that we have to talk about. But I'm not going to today. I was going to, but no, I don't want to pile on. That's probably enough said anyway about that, home training issues. But I can say this, and not ashamed to do so. And that is, we know those sayings like, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Let no profane thing come out of your mouth. Be patient, kind, and tolerant toward everyone. And other things that have to do, a soft answer turneth away wrath. And there's all kinds of those kinds of statements from the source which I quote or make reference to. And I'm not always the best at such things. The same place where I quoted that, you know, am I not a man? Am I not human? Do I not have similar passions as a man? In other words, you make me upset, watch out. Yep, it's slick soap, all right. What else would I want to talk about tonight? Had a good day of driving. Oh, on the brighter side, I got a comment this morning on another video. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but he was a polite gentleman. And if you're watching, you'll know who I'm referring to. Not one of the regulars, a new guy, new to me, I should say. He said, I happened to stumble across your channel, and amazingly, I found your videos very interesting. I've watched a few of them, he said, and how did he phrase it? I enjoy them. They help me to fall asleep at night, which is fine. I do the same thing with fishing, outdoor channel. Another good one to fall asleep to that I like a lot is Forensic Files. Oh, he said, one of the things he said, this gentleman, I like your stories. Oh, I remember now what that other thing was I want to talk about, because it related to the stories. He said, I like your stories about truck driving, he says. And But I just thought it was kind of humorous. He said that he falls asleep to the videos, and help him go to sleep, like I do with forensic files and fishing programs on Outdoor America, and so I just wrote back and said, "Thanks for watching. Glad I could help." But that's what I am. I'm a truck driver. Now, I haven't always been a truck driver, but for the last 10 years, come September 15th, 10 years with this company, minus 2 months, but that's another story. 10 years with the company. And I like my company very much. Trying to do a good job, as we all do, you know. But I've made mention before about having been a pastor before, and I've got a master's degree, etc. And so I'm not a stranger to public speaking. I'm not a stranger to making videos like this. Well, yeah, making videos, maybe not like this. And so I like talking about the things that interest me. If you find them entertaining or interesting, that's good. That's fine. Come along. Come along. And so let me say this first, though, because I want to talk about a safety tip. And I've talked about it before, but it's a common reoccurring issue. Just a common issue among drivers, and it happened to me several times today. And let me do this first. If you're watching me on YouTube, I say thank you. Hit the like and subscribe buttons. If you so desire to leave a comment, please do so. Be respectful, courteous, and don't try to tell me how to shave. If I don't know you, if you haven't communicated with me in the past, or not a part of the shaving cadre, don't tell me how to shave. First of all, I'm not going to listen to you. I have no respect for you. And I don't mean that to sound harsh as it does, but once you've left your comment or hit the like and subscribe button, and go on over to the Shaving Candre, www.theshavingcadre.com, and make an account, set up an account, join the conversation, and to my regular fellows over there, Handle Barber Dave and Major Rich and Nurse Dave and Bill M. and Lukey 3262, The Cutthroat Journey, Scuttle Soap, Graybeard 57. Those are the ones that I have the most respect for today. Now there's some fellas from the past that I've watched on YouTube that I have a good deal of respect for. And one of those fellas, I will go ahead and make mention of, because I really enjoyed his latest videos, and that is Jared Connerty over at the Superior Shave in Jacksonville, Florida. I've actually been to his store in the 18-wheeler, pulled up into his parking lot. I bought a brush from him, and I think I went by there to pick up the brush. And I went there because I wanted to. I wanted to meet him, have a little chat with him. But his last 2 or 3 videos, I got caught up on his videos last night, are outstanding, outstanding. Now, Jared is big into the convex honing, and you know, I'm interested in it, but I'm not going to take it up until I retire. I don't have the time to devote to learning how to do that. And with my truck driving schedule and my home schedule, it's not convenient. And so it's like Bill M, he's taken up the convex honing, and that's great, that's fine. I'm not going to criticize, as some do, which I think is ridiculous, to the lengths and extent that some have gone after Jared is crazy. Yeah, crazy. If not illegal. Now I do something a little crazy, and that is when I've got a blade full of lather, I put it back on top of the brush and reuse or recycle the lather into my shaving. And I've been doing that for years. Every once in a while, Jared will get out his shave at the Superior Shave. He'll get out his little micro scale and go through the calculations of how much soap he used and how much it costs. You know, a little scooper of soap, and he lathers it up. Oh, that costs 34 cents. For that shave. And that's an interesting little novelty. And why did I mention that? Oh, when you buy a $70 jar of Martin de Candre, you want it to last. You don't want to overuse it. unnecessarily. But that's a recent development. I've only bought the Martin Candre recently, since April. I bought these 10 soaps of Martin Candre. But, I've been doing that with Sterling and the old vintage soaps, Mitchell Wolfat and Tobacco and Cella and others. I've been doing that for years, and I have not noticed any particular problems that's created. And so, hey, great. I like that. I can reuse the soap and don't have to re-lather the brush in the middle of a shave. I spent the night last night at the Love's Truck Stop in Belleville, Kansas. And Belleville, Kansas is straight south of York, Nebraska by about 1 hour. It's about 60 miles straight south. And so from York, Nebraska, from Belleville, Kansas to here was just short of 600 miles. And that's what I drove today. To get to Alma, and that brought me down through Concordia, Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, Perry, Oklahoma, Guthrie, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma City, and straight into Dallas. And that's where Alma is. It's south of Dallas by about 45 minutes or so. And but something that happened to me several times today, and here's the law. Let's just understand what the law is on driving, what I'm about to say, and that is merging and yielding. The law is that if you're in the merge lane or the oncoming ramp into the flow of traffic, it is your legal obligation to yield to all traffic in both lanes. If you create an incident by not yielding, first of all, you got an accident and there may be injuries and death, but you'll get the citation. You'll be sued for all damages incurred and or deaths incurred. And so when I say you, I'm talking to you, or I, are the merging party, you are under legal obligation to yield. And my attitude is, there's too many truckers out there, and especially four-wheelers because they don't know any, but truckers should know better. If you're in the right-hand lane and you've got oncoming traffic, you'll see too many vehicles, big trucks especially, jump to the left lane, and they do so dangerously, imperiling the line of traffic in the left-hand lane. Here's the other side of it. I have every legal right. If I'm in the right-hand lane and you're merging on, I have no legal obligation to yield or surrender the lane. And drivers, this has happened some with trucks, but mostly with four-wheelers. They come barging on in the merging lane, and they're going 45 miles an hour. I say barging, but and so the oncoming vehicle has created a hazardous condition. And if I'm in the right-hand lane and you're in the merge lane and you get that far ahead of me, I'm not going to move. And you're running out of merge lane. Where are you going to go? And especially if I'm laying on the horn, the big air horn, I'm not moving. And most trucks, unless they jump over to the left lane, see, now they think they're doing so out of an act of courtesy to you coming on, and it's not, it's a hazard. Watch the trucks next time you go out on a road trip, and watch the merging traffic that comes in, and watch how the different cars and trucks react in such situations as I'm describing. And most of the time they're going to jump, and sometimes they're going to jump to the left lane hazardously. Don't jump. If you're in the right-hand lane and you've got oncoming traffic, hold your ground. You have every legal right to that space at the space and speed that you're traveling, 65, 70 miles an hour, whatever it might be. And you're under no legal obligation to yield to the oncoming traffic. We got a little blood here, you notice. Does that offend anybody? Also, the summer is coming to an end. Vacation season is coming to an end. A lot of kids have started to go back to school. So watch for the kids. And for you RV travelers, Labor Day is coming up. You're going to make one last summer trip with your new RV that you bought back in the spring. Every day when I get up, technically I'm required don't always do it, but I certainly do the morning pre-trip inspection on the tractor and trailer. And a thorough examination is supposed to take 30 to 45 minutes. And I'll just tell you that most truck drivers don't do a thorough inspection. And what they're mostly looking at when they get up in the morning and they get started, they're looking at their lights and their tires. Making sure all the lights are working, make sure the tires are not flat. If they get called in for an inspection at a weigh station, that and the brakes are what the officers are going to look at first. And so if you're driving an RV, always do your morning pre-trip inspection. Make sure your lights, your tires, and on those RV trailers, the brakes, inspect your brakes. I've seen, over the years, I've seen too many RV trailers end up in the ditch. Also, don't be an impediment to the trucks. Trucks are speed governed anywhere from 62 to 66 miles an hour. Those that are, and most of the big companies are. If you see a truck traveling 70, 75 miles an hour down the road, they're not speed governed. And most of those that are not speed governed are going to be owner operators and independent contractors. That's why you see some just flying down the road at 70 miles an hour. But most of the corporate trucks, anywhere from Amazon to Walmart to even a small company like I work for, also, with the season coming to an end, you RVers, make sure you do your final inspection and put your equipment away in storage or however you do things in good order. Don't let your tires go flat and rot out. Check for rotting. Make sure your lug nuts are securely fastened. But those are things that, if you're driving responsibly, see, they don't teach you when you go buy an RV, I know because I've bought one before, how to do all these inspection things. last couple of times I've shaved, I've forgotten to do the fool's pass. Little nicks and weepers will be done bleeding in short order. A little bit of alum, a little bit of styptic pencil, whatever is required. And by the time you're done with the shave and the refinements and the after treatment, you'll be fine. Now, if you're just real squeamish of blood, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Go slaughter a hog and get used to it. I don't know. See, I grew up hunting and fishing and working with knives. I remember my dad's honing stone that he had, kind of a coarse, medium coarse Arkansas stone. I assume because it was, he always used oil on it, and from what I remember, it reminded me today of a Arkansas medium, or what they call the hard. There's hard and then there's hard black. And their hard is a medium grit stone. I don't know how many total minutes I am into this shave. I had that telephone call that interrupted earlier, and I've done a lot of talking tonight too. All right, let's rinse it off and see what we got. And there's no reason, as I have done on the last couple of videos or so, 2 or 3, 4, I just proceed to the head shave. And no reason to cut it off. Just let it keep recording. And usual spots. That's a little flat blading right there. A little technique by Handle Barber Dave. I think that's the first time I've deliberately attempted that, and it seemed to work. It seems to work where I needed it to. All right. Moving right on into the head shave. Let me change razors. As I usually do, we use the Filarmonica Inox. Beautiful example. And we're going to use the Union razor. Union razors are a cheap gold dollar knockoff that they sell in the truck stops for $12.99, and they're a great practice tool, and I use them for head shavers, and they're excellent. This particular one is shaved up. It's either honed up on the one of the Arkansas, it's one of the, because this one's got a white handle, it's either honed up on a translucent or the true heart, that's a kind of a light gray and blackish colored stone. If it had a black handle, it would likely be honed up on the hard black. Now, because I use the clippers and clip my head today, my hair, it's hard for me to see my lines up in this area, and so I'm just guesstimating. As the hair begins to grow out, I'll be, and create definition, I'll be able to see it better. But that's what we're going to go with tonight. And that looks even, it looks pretty close to even on both sides, and so we'll see how it plays out. All right, here we go. And in my opinion, the secret to head shaving is just making sure that your razor's as flat as possible. And until it grows out a little bit, I may not put as fine an edge on that and let it grow out a little bit before I do the upstroke. I've had no knock at the door this evening, and so I'm very happy about that. That's not to say it won't come. Very happy. I've had a relaxing shave. I've enjoyed the conversation, or dare I say the monologue. Yeah, I'm gonna let that go on the other side. Okay, almost done. Do the back of the neck here. Get a little soap off of my brush. Not yet. And usually that's all that's needed. It does a little not yet reminder. And see, the thing about that was, I've been in here for almost 2 hours. And so that they have given me plenty of time for me to go through most of my regular routine. And I don't feel imposed upon at all. And she didn't give me, she or he, whoever it was that knocked at the door, there was no smart ass reply. Well, your time is up. We got other drivers waiting. You need to go. You need to hurry up. No, nothing. There was nothing. There was no reply. Because that's all that's needed. Always pay attention to where your edge is. I was in motion there. Oh, that's just fine. A little more. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Of course, I'm not quite as coordinated with my left hand, and that left ear gets in my way. Yeah, that's good. I think I got it. Okay, there we are. And so we use the union razor on the head. We use the Filarmonica number 13 Inox for the face shave. We use the our Agrumes Let's see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to put on the Allen block here in a second. And I'm sure it's going to sting a little bit. I don't mind the sting. Let's see. Back in Texas, it was blazing hot when I got out of the truck to come in here. Oh, here's a name. I got a nice comment from Anthony Esposito yesterday, and he's one of the primary influencers on me early on for the last 7 years. I've watched him, and that's the first time he's ever contacted me just to say, hey, great video, keep it up. You know, there's a nice word of it. Now there's a class act right there. There's a good example to follow. Somebody who's a major internet straight razor shaver. Hey, great shave, keep it up. I saw a new guy here, let's do this. New guy, I happened to stumble across him last night. Tim Shaves, I think it is. Tim Shaves. He's an Asian fellow, and which there's another one too, but I haven't contacted him very much. Zen Shaves, and so you know, that's what you do to encourage these guys that are making the videos. They're just guys. Some of them sell stuff, sure. Anthony Esposito is also known as the Stallion. That's kind of a little trademark thing of his, and that's all good and fine. And he sells stuff and he does honing, and I'm not trying to promote him particularly other than to say there's a class act encouraging other guys, even old farts like me, to do their shaves. And I think I'm going to ping him in this video when I get it set up tonight. And so anyway, let's go ahead and call it a night. I'm done with the shave. I'm just rinsing out the brush. And Plisson number 20, 30 millimeter, high mountain white, and lovely brush. This is the first time I've taken it on the road with me since I bought it. April, May, whenever I bought it. And so thank you for joining me, and we will see you down the road.